is huge. We
Yes.
know this.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't really know what the inspiration was for you
Right.
when you created him back
Right.
during New Mutants. Can you tell me like what
sure.
what the inspiration was to create Deadpool?
Okay, so Deadpool appears in the first, my first issue, writing and drawing the New Mutants, and I tell people, and in all these Marvel's got a bunch of great history books that they've licensed or put out, and the story's the same in all these. It's great because I own them all. I love comic book history books. But when I was given New Mutants to write and draw, in one of the Marvel books it says, and Liefeld won his showcase, and I've always laughed at that. I won my showcase. It's so dramatic. But the year before, I had created a character called Cable. New Mutants was about to get canceled. They offered me the book. I said, I'd love to do it if we can change it up. And I proposed this character, Cable, this mysterious, futuristic warrior, and he had an agenda for the team and took them in a harder edge, said, stop reacting to everything. We're being hunted. Let's be proactive, and let's take down the people who are hunting us before they can find us. And Cable blew up. The reason I'm telling you about Cable is there's no Deadpool without Cable. Cable's success opened the door for me to get the job writing and drawing New Mutants. Fabian Nicieza, I hired him to script over my plots. I tell people because people don't understand comic books, I was the showrunner at that point. And then, you bring in other pieces to round out the product. The most time you're going to spend on a comic book, and writers will tell you this, is the artist has the biggest burden because he has to actually produce the art, 22, 25 pages. So I had crafted a story. I knew this is it. They're giving me my chance to shine, so I'm going to introduce 3 new characters. Deadpool, Domino, and a new bad guy named Gideon that was going to manipulate everybody. But Deadpool was the showcase. That's why he's standing in front of the cover. And he came in, and again, people love Cable. People love the New Mutants. We had like quadrupled sales, and the book was now in the top 3 of Marvel. Here comes Deadpool, comes in, takes out the entire cast effortlessly, kicks everyone's ass, does it with his smart antics, and takes down Cable, who's everybody's hero, because I wanted to send a message like, this is a badass. He is formidable. And the inspiration when I created him was my buddy Todd McFarlane was doing Spider-Man at the time, and if people of that time remember that Spider-Man itself rocketed from the middle of the pack, because the Spider-Man books had kind of fallen in the wake of the X-Men books rising, and Todd would not let Spider-Man be denied, and Spider-Man became phenomenal. And Todd used to joke to me, and he said, you're doing a book with 7 to 8 characters. He goes, why'd you ever do a team book? I do Spider-Man. I draw these big eyes. I do some webs. I do an oval. I'm on to the next page. And I was like, I need another character. I need a character like that. And Todd was like a great coach and kind of a taunter. And I asked my assistant, who had worked with me the other day, to remember. He was a teenager, and he was like, he would rule my lines on my borders and fill in the blacks. I said, hey, what do you remember about when I brought Deadpool in that day? And he's like, oh, Rob, I can tell you right now. You walked in, you pulled out your portfolio, and you said, hey, what do you think of this guy? He's Spider-Man with katanas and machine guns. And that's how I pitched him to Marvel. And Marvel's like, yeah, we're good. And I asked Marvel, I said, because Wolverine has always been my favorite character. And with Cable and Deadpool, I was trying to stick the landing like Wolverine stuck the landing. And to this day, like I said, Wolverine is my favorite. So I was always trying to make the next Wolverine. And to me, Wolverine meant mystery, but a killer visceral, and again, layers that we could unpeel. And I asked them, Wolverine was from Weapon X. And I said, so that Weapon X means 10. And Marvel editorial said, yes. I said, have we ever met Weapon 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? Have we gone back? No. Great. I said, Deadpool is Weapon 9. He is the one that they didn't get it right. They got it right with Wolverine. And then I remember going to see the movie Twins, and I tell this on the convention circuit. And when Arnold and Danny DeVito, because again, from that era, it's Schwarzenegger and DeVito, and you're like, twins, how are they twins? And I remember in the movie, they go, how are we twins? And the doctor said, well, you're all the good stuff, and you're all the crap. And DeVito goes, I'm all the crap. And Schwarzenegger goes, you're the crap. And so Deadpool was the crap. And so that was the basis when I pitched Marvel with Deadpool. They will tell you that New Mutants 98 got the most mail for a new character. They said they were overwhelmed to the point where they called me and said, can you put him in the next issue? The mail on Deadpool. Fans dig him. And I said, I just sent the issue off. I can't put him in. You're getting it tomorrow. Well, how about the next one? And I tell people there's a reason Deadpool started appearing in every other issue of X-Force. The fans demanded it. He has always been, his very existence, he was caught up, he caught the fans' attention, he caught their favor, and they've been running with him ever since. And I think now, if I can jump ahead, the licensors got a hold of him. They did a couple things: a statue, a pop figure, Funko stuff, and I think those sold out. And they go, let's do more. Let's do more. You cannot discount the power of a great visual, and he's a great visual. Swords, machine guns, that costume, and he's a smartass. When I see the Entertainment Weekly cover and it says the smartassiest katana wielding, I'm like, that's Deadpool. So I think it works.
So, and I mean, at this point, I mean, you mentioned how like Wolverine is your favorite character, and he's so iconic. I mean, it seems like, I mean, really, your goal came true because Deadpool, and in my opinion, and probably most others, is on equal footing with Wolverine at this point in terms of popularity.
He has definitely achieved that.
Right. I mean, he's a household name. I have a 6-year-old. He loves Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves it. He's 6.
My kids play soccer. They play basketball, and it was a couple of years ago that one of the moms came across the field, and she was coming across with a fury, and I'm like, what's going on? And she goes, hey, did you create this character called Deadpool? And I hadn't told my kids. We had Deadpool stuff around the house, but you're not like, you don't, hey, hello children, your father created this character. That's not how we roll. I'm like, not telling them anything. They're too young. But at this point, and my son goes, Dad, you created Deadpool? I'm like, yeah, thanks, lady. But that was like when I saw that their friends were digging it, and when he really blew up was in Marvel did a Capcom video game, and if you want to tell me when he went nuclear worldwide was when the Capcom versus Marvel video game, Deadpool was the most popular character to play. Everyone just skipped past the menu. You went to Deadpool, and in most cases, kids were playing Deadpool on the Marvel Capcom, and he had the best moves, the best action, and he'd always have a smart crack when he wiped you out. And that was that game, because again, my kids in the neighborhood, my 2 boys would bring their 6 buddies in the neighborhood, and they'd all pop down on the couch, and they'd put it on the big screen, and they would just sit there and play Marvel Capcom Deadpool versus everybody, and I'm Deadpool, and I was like, this is crazy. But stuff enters the zeitgeist, and it just takes off, and then you can't stop it.
It's very similar with the Marvel Lego game too. I mean, Deadpool's like a through line, and I played with my son everything to get every red brick. And my son's like, we need to get Deadpool.
Sure.
So, I mean, we invested so many hours of our lives just to unlock this character.
My buddy was a VP. He's now at a different company, but he was a VP at Warner Brothers at the time. And he called me up and he goes, dude, you know how long we've been playing this game to unlock Deadpool? And I'm like, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, they've used him as like a secret weapon, and to spike him, I mean, they'll do Deadpool month covers. So, I mean, he has definitely achieved a great, popularity in the business, and I think that the thing I'm most excited about, and it's cool because I was talking to Tim Miller the other day about the visuals in the movie. I'm like, Tim, people talk to me about the costume all the time. It's almost like they didn't believe that they were going to pull the costume off, and I've heard so many people go, oh, the costume's so faithful, it's so faithful. Again, the visual and the costume, the red, the black, it just has a strong connection. And because I asked him, I said, hey, we need to get the credits out on who did this and who was the guys who made these costumes, because I mean, it's that the people really react to seeing him, and I just think that they're in for it, man. This movie is going to kick some butt.
So the footage, that was released, served kind of as a catalyst to really get the excitement going.
Correct.
And I guess I'm curious how much, because I know that you had said you had seen something in some test footage at some point a long time, and you had been talking about it, and everybody's like, does it really exist? Is life making this stuff?
I know, that was hard. Yep.
But then everybody, was able to see it, and it was like, holy crap. So I'm curious, like, I mean, how much were you involved in that initial
Tim Miller called me when he got the job in 2010. I was a big fan of his work on the Star Wars video games, the trailers that he made for them. That he did a DC cinematic universe, or their video game universe trailer. So I was a big fan of Tim's. And suddenly I get this email, Rob, it's Tim. I got hired to do Deadpool. Let's get together. Let's talk. I'm so excited. I want to, I wanted to contact you first and let you know what's up. And I want to, make sure that you have access. I was totally floored. I mean, really, he extended me access when he didn't have to. And so I went to Blur, and he showed me the animatics. He showed me what they were planning. And then I was there the day that they go, Rob, do you want to go with us? They were leaving Blur and going down the street to the green screen room to film Ryan doing the stuff. And I said, I'm too nervous. I said, I'm going to go home, and you're going to show me when it's done. And sure enough, 3 months later, he said, Rob, come on up. And now here's what people don't understand. So it's 2015. This is October 2011. I go watch what the filmed footage that everyone's seen. And again, that filmed footage, Ryan, the entire team, I've seen him talk about it. He calls it, the fans saw that filmed footage and powered this movie through. And I believe that. He is 100% on the mark. Fans, they were, once they were shown it. And that was always the feel amongst everybody who'd seen it. Like, if we could just get it seen. And that footage, I would go up every couple months. Hey, Tim, can I bring a friend? Hey, Tim, can I bring a friend? He has a great theater room at Plur, and he was very kind to me. Always, Rob, bring him on up. I would bring Robert Kirkman from The Walking Dead. I would bring Gina Carano. I'm like, come on, see this. And we would all go and hang out and watch. And obviously Tim was very proud of the work they did. But October 2011, that was finished. And so to finally, have it seen, I started talking about it on the convention trail. And I did sense people were like, you making this up? And I'm like, I'm not this good, man. I'm not this good to break down scene by scene. So it's great that people really powered it based on the film footage. They powered it through, and we've got a movie coming out here in February, and I think people just are not ready for what they're going to experience. And of course, yes, I'm Rob Liefeld. I'm a homer, right? I mean, what am I going to do? I would not be this enthusiastic about Deadpool if I did not feel like it was a real game changer. We've had how many Marvel movies? And you got to understand, I love them all. I love the first Captain America. I love Civil War. I love Avengers. I love Iron Man. They're great movies. They have all subscribed, in my opinion, to a certain point of view. Deadpool is not that point of view. I think audiences are going to get their butts, like, they're going to be like, what is this? It's a different flavor. The R rating is setting it apart and making it something that none of these other movies can be. And I think when people, they're going to be like, what is this flavor? I want this. So I think they're going to go crazy.
So with Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool, I mean, what is it about him that you think makes Deadpool? Because he feels like the perfect fit.
He is Deadpool.
Anybody else.
Oh, Ryan's Deadpool. His entire persona. He just has that wit. He's got that ridiculous humor and wit about him, but then he has the physicality. He's a big dude. I mean, when I met him, I was like, oh my gosh, you're such a big guy. And he's like, I am a big guy. And I'm like, you're Deadpool. I mean, he's got the physicality. He looks great as Deadpool, but he's got that great perspective, point of view. And I'm telling you, you can't just act, you can't fake those one-liners. It's the delivery of the material. And these guys, Tim Miller, Ryan Reynolds, Rhett Reese, and Paul Wernick, they have been in the trenches battling for this for almost 6 years. And it's so awesome to see this come true for them. Like I tell people, I've been the Deadpool guy for 24 years. Like, I walk on the streets of the Comic-Con or wherever, hey, Deadpool guy, hey, Deadpool. I've been that guy for 24 years. I know what it's like. I gave birth to him. They're going to get to be the Deadpool guys now, and they're going to get to experience that. And I'm so excited for them because I think it's going to be awesome. They don't know what's coming. They think they do, but they don't. I tell Paul, I go, get ready. I tell Rhett, get ready to get some medication for that hand from all the high fives you're going to get. Because there's going to be a lot of high fives coming your way.
So outside of Deadpool, you also have a whole stable of characters. You mentioned Cable before.
Sure.
Like Shatterstar.
Sure.
And a whole bunch of other.
All the X-Force cast. Yeah.
And then you also have your image creations
Sure.
and your other creations. And I know you're starting Bloodstrike again.
Relaunched that last week. Yes.
Awesome. I mean, so I guess the question is, are you exploring or attempting to push those characters to get a big screen appearance, or?
You know what? It's funny. I get that question, and I haven't. I just feel like I'm doing the comics to do the comics. I love comics. That's what I grew up wanting to do. When I came to San Diego in 1981, my dad, I had showed him an ad in the Comic Book Buyer's Guide. And I said, Dad, look at this convention. Look at all these names. George Perez, John Byrne, Chris Claremont. And my dad always said, I don't really get these comics, but I get that you love them and it's your passion. And he was a great guy. We took the train from Orange County down here, and we stayed 2 nights at the Holiday Inn. And so 1981, I came to my first Comic-Con. And I was just blown away by all the comic book creators, because that's all there was. And Hollywood didn't really roll into this place until about 2002. And it's been great. Look, we didn't have comic book movies and comic book TV shows. For us, it was you know, something completely different. And I mean, I got excited when Steve Austin would activate his bionics twice an episode. No. You know, now the stuff you go, what did the Flash just do on TV? You know, so I mean, we're in a different world. So that's obviously co-opted the business quite a bit. But to this day, I just draw the comics, and like when I relaunch something like Bloodstrike, I'm not sure that's adaptable. It's too brutal. There are some stuff that you just go, I'm just gonna have fun on the page and draw and express myself and see if that can excite the consumers of the comic book stores. Because all the other stuff you really don't control. I've had stuff come out. I've had studios come after me. They've optioned my stuff. Back in the '90s, before people kind of knew what they could do, but the business had to learn what they could do with these characters. But I just sometimes when I tell people, a comic is just a comic. You just do it for the comic book. Am I excited about the possibility of these the stuff I created for Marvel? Because that seems inevitable. This era, you know, they've gotten to it. They're right up against the '80s and '90s now, and that's my era. So obviously, you're going to see all those characters over time. I'm fairly confident, as long as they keep making X-Men movies, they're going to keep sharing those characters, and that's going to be a thrill. And I'm so excited because again, I love all parts of it. I love the toys, the statues, the movies. But when it comes to my stuff, I can just control the comic books, and so that's what I do. And it feels like Marvel and DC are trying to stake out so much of the real estate. Like, how exhausting would that be to try and compete? You know. So right now, I just do the comics. I focus on the comics, and I'm having a blast. And something like Bloodstrike, which relaunched last week, has already blown up, sold out. I mean, stores, Image says stores are selling out all over the place, and you go, that feels great. Because, again, that's my passion, is the paper stuff. And so that's what that's about.